Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm Susan Lynn, psychic medium, and we're going to be talking about the horrific event that happened yesterday where United States citizens stormed our Capitol and breached the security and actually gained entrance into the inner offices and frankly became within a doorways with close to our senators and representatives. I want to start out by saying that I'm terribly sorry for the woman that lost her life through this mess. I'm sorry because it didn't have to happen, because she is the poster person, if you will, for the mind control and the cult programming that's happening. She didn't have to die. She didn't have to die. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for her. I send love and healing to her soul. There were others that passed as well. I think they were mostly due to health concerns. Many of those people, I'm sure you noticed yourself, were older. I saw people with walkers. So I know that some of them died. One died from a heart attack and one died from tasing themselves is what I heard. So I'm not sure what happened there, but God rest their souls as well. And look, I know you want answers. I want answers. I want answers. I don't like this. I'm an empath. I don't like bad things. I don't even watch scary movies. I don't even watch the scary part of non-scary movies. So this is hard for me. I feel like all I ever do is get on here and say bad things. But you guys have reached out to me and I'm honored that you have, and you've asked for me to do a video. I know that the reason that is because you're looking for answers. So I'm going to say that I am deeply upset and saddened and frankly very angry about this. So what I need to do to be able to give you answers that make sense, and answers that are more that are not so washed in my anger and grief, right? I need to step outside of my ego and have my guides come in even more so than they normally do when I do these videos, because I am really quite upset. I mean, didn't get much sleep last night, and I'm sure that you are in the same boat. I'm going to do a few videos on this because what I know now is that my guides show me a much longer view. If you look back to what happens after the United States election video, I think that was done 2 months ago, or 6 weeks at least. And basically it's talking about now. Okay. So a lot of what they show me is very far into the future, but what I think you want to know, and it's a little bit different. I want to know this too, but I kind of, Susan wants justice. So, but I think what we all want to know is what WTH is going to happen in the next 24, 48, 36 hours. Are we safe? Is everything going to be okay? So my guides have been downloading me all night. That's one reason why I didn't get much sleep. And honestly, I wrote notes of just, what I do is I just put down whatever they tell me. Again, you see the top thing is McCarthyism once again. And I think this is very interesting because what they're trying to tell us, and this happens a lot in readings too, is that you have to go back and revisit something, but you may use it in a whole different way, or the lesson might be completely different, even though the situation is the same. Okay, so what I mean is, I talked about civil war. People were like, no, we're not going to do civil war. Well, now we're not so sure, right? But what I really saw was more like insurrection, was like skirmishes, Americans becoming terrorists in their own country, sleeper cells. Okay, so I guess I'm going down this road, and I didn't want to go down this road. I'm going to do more videos on this, okay? Because this is a really deep subject and it's a really disturbing subject to me personally. But let me just say that, look, you've witnessed it yourself. These people came from all walks of life. They were older, they were younger. Well, they were all white and they were all Trumpers. But other than that, they probably came from different states and they came from different backgrounds, okay? And one thing that my guides kept talking about last night over and over again was how we have to have this discernment about our fellow Americans, about how they literally said to me, look, if your hairdresser is a Trumper or your dentist is a Trumper, but you don't know it, right? You don't know that because you don't talk politics, right? Then it stands that one of your local police officers is a Trumper, one of the FBI, one of the Secret Service, one of the CIA, one of the judges, whatever. Now, when I say Trumper, we also need to make a decision, or we need to make a defining line, once again, using our discernment. There are some Trumpers that have really washed their hands of this and said, I don't want anything about it. But there's others that are still very much supportive of these illegal and seditious actions. Okay, so the reason, and let me also say, I have police officers, have had police officers in my family. All my brothers were in the military. My dad was in the military. My grandfather. I mean, look, I have a long history of supporting the military and police officers. This is not about me not supporting them. This is about me saying, or the guides saying, that we have to use our discernment in our lives. We're going to come to a place where I really didn't want to get into this because it's very deep and it's long. We're going to come to a place in the next 6 months, in the next year, depending, but definitely in the next 3 to 6 months, where these people are going to show their colors. They're going to step out. They're going to step out as a Trumper and as someone who really believes that maybe we need civil war. Maybe they need a revolution. You know, they feel so disenfranchised that they don't feel that they're getting the remedy for their disenfranchisement through the regular political process and channels. Therefore, they've got to revolt. Okay? So you're going to see this. I guess that's what I want to say right now. You're going to see your mailman. You're going to see people that you thought you never would have thought would be radical, become radical. Okay? Because they've been radicalized. We talked about that in the last video. These people have been radicalized through propaganda. Just like ISIS. But here in America. Okay. I like to always tell you things and then tell you what you're supposed to do about it, because I just don't like delivering bad news. I mean, what's the point of that, right? So I guess I'm going to have more videos about how to deal with this, but right now, my guides said to me, your house is on fire. Now's not the time to go forward. Now's not the time necessarily to go forward and get the arson investigators in to figure out why it burned down. Okay, so we are still in a crisis mode. Okay, so I'm going to maybe I'm going to do several mini videos in rapid fire, I think, because I need to address different parts of this, including our own well-being, including our own mental health and emotional well-being. So I'm going to address all these things, okay? But for right now, I just want to get out there and tell you what I see. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that subject alone for a minute, and I'm going to go to Trump. Because honestly, right now, he is the wick. You know, he's the fuse that lights the fire. Now, they've taken his Twitter down for 12 hours. I mean, that basically, he'll be up and running here in a minute. By lunch, probably. There's so much, you guys. There's just so much. But let me just talk about Trump for a minute, because I think that we need to understand where he is and what he may do. Okay. And by the way, it's in the morning and I had to pull out the cup because let her please be helping us from the other side. Okay, Trump. So here's the thing. Here's what they told me. Trump is, he's happy. He doesn't understand. Okay, this is really important. The man has never held any kind of governmental office. Okay, he's always had businesses. Businesses where you can buy somebody off, or you can threaten somebody off, or you can not pay somebody off. You know what I mean? You just don't pay them their bill. You know, whatever. You can bully people. And honestly, in business, it's a little bit harder to get caught. You know, I mean, the rules are limited. That's why America is the place people come to make their fortune, because you can kind of get away with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, which gives you an edge in business. So this man is the mob. He is the mob. The mob is him. I mean, he's not that powerful, but he thinks he is, because he's paid for protection. He's been bought by Russia. He's been bought by these other dictators. And that's how he's always operated. He's run his businesses as mob businesses. This would be a good time to say this video is for entertainment purposes only, because I'm pretty sure that YouTube and Twitter and Facebook are going to blow up in the next couple of weeks and start taking down everything. So this video is for entertainment purposes only. They actually do listen to these videos. YouTube has an algorithm that listens to the words, and that's how they know what video to suggest to you. Okay, that's why we have to say these things if you're wondering. So Trump does not think right now, today, this morning, on the 7th of January, 2021, he doesn't think he's in trouble. He thinks he played them. He thinks he's mad. He's mad at Pence because Pence didn't toe the line. He's happy with the 100+ Republican House members that went against the electoral votes. He's happy with the 6 senators, or however many there were, that went against. He's happy with those people. But in general, he feels like he showed them. His energy feels like, I showed them. Now, this is really important. Not only did he show them, which is us and democracy, but he proved to himself that he has the ability to put a message out there and have people get on airplanes and go to his rescue. That is extremely important. Extremely important. He needs that. The guides have been saying all along, he needs this group of people that become his thugs. And they're his. He has separated them from the Republican Party. He's specifically tried to separate them from the Republican Party. He doesn't want them to be beholden to the Republican Party. He wants them to be beholden to him. And he wants to be able to put out a message, a tweet, and get people to fly wherever he wants them to. I have 3 degrees separation from an idiot that flew from Texas to that rally. I don't know her. And she's a woman, and she's, like 40s. You would think she'd have more sense, but I'm just saying, he's got that power, you guys. Okay. This didn't go away. This got better for him. This is making him feel, strong, powerful. If you look at some of the reports, they talk about how excited he was during the mob. He was excited. Go look at the video where he's talking about, how he got robbed and the election was robbed. But those people, he loves them. They're very special people. He loves them. They're very special people. Meanwhile, they're sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office, taking her mail and terrorizing our Congress people and our democracy. Okay. But he was turned on by that. He felt empowered by that. Okay. So this is where we are today. Okay. Today he feels empowered. Now, meanwhile, this is important too. Meanwhile, he would not call the National Guard. He is the commander-in-chief, and DC is not a state. DC cannot call the National Guard because they don't have a National Guard because they're not a state. So if DC needs something, they have to go through the federal channels all the way up to the commander-in-chief, and the commander-in-chief rubber stamps it, and boom, DC gets National Guard. Even though DC requested National Guard 4 days before this event, they didn't materialize. So when it became an issue and they couldn't get National Guard, DC started asking Virginia for troopers. They asked anybody. I mean, basically, I think they'd have taken mall security cops at that point. It's like, we just need some help. Well, when that started happening, the White House knew they had to do something, or else they would really look even worse than they already look. And that's when Pence agreed to the National Guard. You guys, that's not the chain of command. The chain of command is Trump. Pence is not the chain of command. For Pence to have agreed to have the National Guard go in, steps over, through, and around Trump. Now, either he didn't want to do it, or he refused to do it, or they had him locked in the bathroom. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just telling you the chain of command is already broken down, and Trump doesn't care. He doesn't understand. That's the guy's point. He doesn't understand when you're an elected official, let's say president of what used to be one of the best countries in the world, you're held to a different standard. You're not a businessman anymore. There are a lot more laws that you have to follow. And he doesn't understand that. And he's not accepting that. He's not accepting that. Right now, he thinks he can basically buy off or do anything he wants. He still feels like he's the dictator. Okay, so here's where we are. He wants to continue this disruption. And the reporting that I saw yesterday, these reporters said that they talked to these people who were there, the mob, the Trumper mob terrorist groups. And they said, this is nothing. We're coming back with guns. We're coming back because this is a revolution, because this is a civil war. Okay. There's so many videos of even the West Virginia state representative saying he led one of the groups in. And he's a state delegate or representative, West Virginia. And there's video of him saying, don't loot, don't touch anything. You know, it was supposed to be a show of force, right? It was supposed to be go in, but don't use any violence, right? That was the word on down high from Trump and his people. But now they're going to come back and it's going to be violent, okay? Now, I have to tell you that the energy is just so crazy. And I know that this is going to make more sense to all of us later, maybe years later, I don't know. But when I say violence, the problem is that there are DC Capitol Police that are Trumpers, that are supportive of this group. There's videos that show the DC Capitol Police, a section, let's say 6 of them, opening the barrier and letting this crowd in, and another guy, several yards back away, this way, and then they're this way coming toward him, and he's going like this. Come on. Okay, those DC guys let him in. I tried to convince myself that the barrier was breached and that they just backed up. You know what I mean? But you watch the video enough times, you can tell that didn't happen. They let him in. So my problem is that the violence is going to end up taking out people who are Trumpers. Some of these DC cops are going to, potentially get harmed. It's just confusing. It's supposed to be confusing. It's supposed to be anarchy. So, Trump wants to instigate more of those things. As I look at his energy, he wants to instigate more of these things. He would really like to spread this throughout the country. He would really like to have these uprisings happen I just heard Detroit, in different cities. I'm sure mostly Democratic cities. And that's what he wants. He wants to show everybody he's got power. Like, I feel my chest is puffed up and I'm feeling powerful. They're going to get theirs. They're going to be sorry that they ever messed with me. They should have been loyal to me. That's the energy when you go into Trump. Now, we also have Pence. We also have other people in there that theoretically could stop him. So let's go back to yesterday when I talked about how Pence had to approve the National Guard. So what's happening, what I know factually and what I see energetically is Trump's attorney the counsel, his legal counsel, Cipollone, I don't know how you say his name. Yesterday, he was telling people, do not be in the same room with Trump right now, because you could be brought up on charges. If Trump is brought up on charges of sedition, you'll be brought up on charges of sedition. And that's why you see crazy people stepping down. Like Melania's media person just left. They're like, oh no, I'm not going to jail for this. That's not going to happen, right? So we have this thing happening in the White House right now where people know of his plans because he's dumb enough to talk about them. So I think people know about his plans, and I think they're thinking, I don't want to go to jail for this. I'm not that crazy. You know what I mean? Case in point, not to jail, but somebody whose career was ruined was the woman who was on the call, the famous Georgia call. One of his attorneys was on the call, and to that point, this woman has never been publicly involved in any of these crazy schemes of Trump's. She's always been in the background. Nobody knew she was this involved in the craziness. Well, here she is on the call. Well, guess what happens? She had to step down from her law firm. She basically had to leave her law firm in disgrace. So what you're seeing right now is basically a scramble for power of the United States of America. I want to say right now, and I've mentioned her before, the Oracle of Whimsey, Whimsy Anderson, who is a remote viewer. Basically, she can, through a heart-centered remote viewing, which means she gets the other person's permission, she can go into Trump's energy or into Lindsey Graham's energy or into Mitch McConnell's energy and literally, or Putin's energy, and tell you what they're thinking, tell you what they're doing. And she saw many months ago, I mean, maybe more than 6 months ago, that Lindsey Graham would go to the president, President Trump, and say, sir, we're going to give you the honor of resigning, basically just like Nixon did, or whoever it was that did to Nixon. I give you the honor of resigning, because if you don't resign, we're going to have to take the next step. And Whimsy Anderson put on her community page on YouTube, 3 days tops, he's going to resign. This was day before yesterday. So I think she's nailed it. I think she's dead on. I think that the problem here with psychic and reading energy and even remote viewing is that everybody has free will. And this dude, Trump, is coked up. He's flying high right now. I'm telling you, my chest feels like I'm out to here. Like I feel like so powerful in his energy. I feel really, really powerful. And I feel like I want to, punch things. Like I have this masculine testosterone. Yes, I won, much like a football player after a really good, score, just they slap each other so hard they knock each other senseless, right? This is the energy I feel in Trump. So the problem is you got these people like Pence who are like basically compared to Trump sane, and the Cipollone guy and some others, and they're trying to figure out how we're going to get him out of there, because he's out of control. So what I've always seen is that he leaves. And because the thing that he needs, you guys, is his power and money. Power and money. Well, besides the drugs. So if he leaves, he can escape prosecution, theoretically, and take his base with him. Again, remember, all he has to do is tweet. All he has to do is send out some kind of message. And I think in one of my videos, many videos ago, where I talked about this scenario, I said that he will even email them. As the social media people squash him and take away his ability to quickly send out these missives, he will actually start emailing them, which you can't control. So he's going to try to keep control of this contingency within the United States of America with this sleeper cell. He's going to try to keep control of them regardless of where he is. And he's going to try to control them and use them to hit back at his enemies. So when is he going and where is he going? Well, he has to be pressured out. I mean, he's not going to go on his own accord. I swear to you, he wouldn't leave on the 20th. He wouldn't. If he thought that he had enough military on his side, oh my God, they're showing me the pictures. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. They're showing me tanks. They're showing me tanks. And I as a person looking at the White House, I'm looking at the barrel of a tank. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And I've said it before, he's not as dumb as people think. His plans have plans. He has backup plans. Okay? He has plans and then backup plans and then backup plans for the backup plans. Okay? He thinks he's smart. He thinks he's brilliant. I wouldn't call him brilliant, but I would call him a little smarter than we maybe give him credit for. So I feel like Whimsy is right that somebody, and it's not going to be Pence, because Pence knows this guy is going down. And I got this message yesterday that Pence wanted to run for president. I never even knew that. I know that I have seen him going to work as a religious school's provost, but he wanted to run for president in the next election. Do my 8 years, right? And then I get to run, basically like Biden, right? I didn't know that. But it's over. I think he realizes that if his chances aren't over, they're very close to being over. So he wants nothing to do with Trump. As a matter of fact, he wants out. So Trump, I believe, I'm hearing something about the House. Maybe that's because of Pelosi, but I do believe that they will try to put articles of impeachment together. I don't know that that's successful. I honestly think that he's going to be forced out. I feel like somebody's going to go to him, and it might be Cipollone or whoever this attorney is, who's already said the words sedition and treason, will go to him and say, if I were you, I would take a plane trip. That's how Trump talks, right? In these generalities, the way the mob talks, it's like, for your own good, the weather's better over there. You know what I mean? This kind of veiled threat. So I feel like he's going to go. I feel like I hear the word 3 days, weekend. Okay, we're coming up on the weekend, right? It's going to be Friday tomorrow, I think. I think by the weekend, he'll take a trip somewhere. We already know he tried to arrange for a trip to Scotland on the 19th or something, and they've denied him. Scotland has said, no, we're not taking anybody in due to COVID. I want to say this too, because you guys are usually smarter than me. I keep hearing New Jersey. I don't know what is New Jersey. Either New Jersey is investigating him, or what's his name? The ex-governor, Mr. Bridge Block. He could be helping him. He may decide to try to live in New Jersey. He may decide to reside in New Jersey for some period of time. He may just go to New Jersey. But that's not helpful. I mean, I'm telling you, the charges coming down on Trump are not state charges anymore. They're federal charges. So he's going to have to leave the country. Now, I got Bolsonaro a few days ago. That's Brazil, I think, the dictator in Brazil. I don't think Trump likes Brazil. So his problem is he has to figure out which shithole country is going to allow him to live there, because Russia is not going to allow him to live there. Saudi Arabia is not going to allow him to live there. He might go there for a period of time, but if we charge him, Saudi Arabia will give him up. Saudi Arabia needs United States in all kind of ways. And they're not going to, and Biden's already very unhappy with Saudi Arabia and unhappy with Russia. So they're already on the shit list. He's not going to go to China. Again, I heard that island, the Mauritius Island. I'm hearing it again. I'm hearing something with an M. I don't know where he's going to go, but I got to tell you, he's going to go somewhere. And sadly, I saw this a long time ago. The video even has the headline. I just tell you guys what I see. I caught so much grief for that video. It's like, look, it isn't me. I'm a whole different person. You guys don't even know. I am fiery. But I see him coming back. He has to come back. Again, he has health issues, right? He has terrible health issues. If he doesn't blow out his colon, because that's what I see happening right now is his lower GI. If he doesn't blow that out and end up in the hospital before he leaves, there's a small possibility he could have a stroke. Or once he does leave, and it's after the 20th, if he keeps stepping on the wrong toes, he might have something happen to him. He doesn't have the power he thinks he does. He thinks he's all powerful, especially now, right? And he doesn't have that power. He's bossing around a lot of international level mobsters. He's bossing them around. And he knows too much. And he's useless. Man's got nothing. Nothing for them. He's not useful anymore. So if I was him, I would be very careful. I'd be very careful around things. Let's just leave it at that. So that's what I see with Trump. I see potentially, him dying, him having this lower GI thing, having some kind of MI, some kind of thing that would be related to his partaking of drugs. And we know he's had strokes before, many strokes. I've saw that before, and we've seen that little device in his head that probably was some kind of regulator for neurotransmitter or something like that. Or maybe it's the aliens talking to him. I don't know. The bad aliens. But that's what I see happening. I don't know. I feel like I've been rambling for 30 minutes. I'm going to watch this and make sure it makes some kind of sense to you guys. But basically, where we are right now is we have to just be chill. There's nothing I can do where I'm at. There's nothing you can do where you're at right now. Your world is going to continue on the way it's been continuing on. We are being ravaged by the C-19. So we just need to take care of, like Whimsey says, be about your business, be about your business, take care of you, take care of your finances, take care of your health. Okay. That's the most important thing right now for you is to take care of your finances and your health. And then we'll continue talking about how to deal with this. Okay. I want you to take care of your finances and your health. That's really the most important thing here. Trump is going to be out before long. He's going to continue causing problems, but they're going to be isolated. They may be spread throughout the country, but they will be isolated. And we're going to learn to live with it. The bottom line is we're going to learn to live with it. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But right now, where you are, you're okay. We have the great news that both senators won. Both senators won. The Senate will be 50-50. We have the great news that Biden and Harris were certified. The votes were certified. Congress and the Senate came through and did what they were supposed to do. They stayed up all night and did that, despite the fact that that place had just been under terrorist attack. So there's some good things to look for here. Democracy still stands after an attack, a very serious attack on it. And I believe with all my heart that despite the further attacks, that she will continue to stand. And it's because of people like you. And so we just have to stay calm and keep our wits about us, do a lot of self-care, and look, don't interact with these people. I mean, I could go on for an hour about that. Don't interact with them. They're not going to believe you. Facts don't matter. Okay, they're already saying that was Antifa. Those people were Antifa. They weren't Trump supporters. They were Antifa. Listen, they're programmed. They're programmed. They're not reachable. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. We have to figure out how to deal with them. Okay. Whew, I hope this was helpful. I don't know, guys. I wish I could wave a magic wand and make all this go away. I really do. I wish I could. Forewarned is forearmed. And the takeaway is be about your business. Take care of your finances. Take care of your health. Okay? That's what's on your plate. That's your number one thing to do right now. And I will be in touch. I'll be doing a lot of videos. You'll be sick of me. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, I really do. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful to you. Everybody take care, okay?